All right. Well, you kick this one off. I'm sure you have some cheese dick joke to start this one off with.
The fuck, man. You're the worst around. You stink. Hi, guys. Welcome to Bored and Annoyed. I am home with the movies.
And I'm Jackson.
And this episode, we are discussing the bottom 5 movies.
And some dishonorable mentions.
And some dishonorable mentions of 2018. So buckle up. Might be some movies you liked on here. Hope it doesn't piss you off too bad.
I hope it does.
Bored and Annoyed.
You gotta figure it out, people.
You gotta figure fucking pompous reviewer.
I'm the asshole, I guess. Yeah.
All right. What are your dishonorable mentions?
My dishonorable mentions. First one is The Possession of Hannah Grace. And theoretically, this could have been the worst movie I saw this year, but it's just it's short. It's it's not offensive because it's so stupid and just it's a nothing movie.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no fun. It's not fun.
Right.
That was another thing on this was if it was really fun to hate.
I see what you're saying.
Get as
so I know some movies to not expect.
Okay, well, another dishonorable mention was Robin Hood.
Yeah. Oh shit! I actually completely forget.
That's how bad it was.
Yeah,
that's how bad it was.
You know what's actually great about that is that's why it's not on my list. Is because it was just forgettable.
Right. There you go.
It doesn't initiate hate in you.
And then it's so bad. But I had so much fun with it. It didn't crack the top 5 was Rampage.
There it is. I'm actually surprised that that's in the dishonorable mentions because of what you just said earlier about if it was so fun to hate.
Well, no, that's what I mean.
Because it was so bad.
If it was so fun to hate, it didn't make the top 5.
Right.
Possession of Hannah Grace, I felt like had to be mentioned because it's it's so terrible.
Right.
It's just. There's nothing likable about it.
Right.
But it didn't offend me, so it didn't make the top 5.
Some of these are, so my list, my dishonorable list, they're so close to making it in.
Let's hear it. I'm waiting for a movie I'm waiting for a movie I liked. I know a movie I liked made your list.
So Pacific Rim 2.
Okay.
That was just awful.
Okay.
But the reason it's not on the list is because the mech stuff is kind of cool.
Okay.
You're
giving it something.
Every one of these has a little bit of something that keeps it off the list. Rampage.
Okay.
We just said it. It's fun to hate. It's so fucking dumb.
It's terrible.
Watching The Rock stroke his ego for an hour and 45 is kind of funny.
Well, you've kind of ruined The Rock for me now because I'm on the lookout for this now. This whole he's better in an ensemble.
Everybody needs to be on the lookout for this.
Yes.
What else is there? The Meg.
The Meg. Okay.
It's cookie cutter as fuck, and it pissed me off, but it knew well enough to stick with the formula. And this one is paining me to just leave off the list, but it's The Predator.
Okay.
I hated the movie.
It's fucking awful.
Now, people who listen to this podcast religiously will know I had some movies that really pissed me off this year.
Okay. This one didn't piss you off.
No, actually, no, it didn't at the time. I'm leaving these ones off the dishonorable list because even though they pissed me off, it's more like they had great potential and they pissed me off by squandering it. So like Deadpool 2, I didn't think was a good movie, but it's way better than the ones I just listed.
Oh yeah, it's 100% better.
It's still a piss poor attempt at a Deadpool movie in my opinion. Ant-Man and Wasp is a giant waste of time.
Okay.
But it's nowhere near as offensively bad as anything I just listed.
No. I do want to add something to the dishonorable mentions list.
Okay.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
Or Jurassic World, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Fallen Kingdom.
There's another one. Forgot about it.
Yeah. Oh, that one sucked.
I hated it. But it's another one of those things where you're like,
they tried something new for a minute there.
Actually, I don't even know if there was anything good in that. I guess that could have made my list.
It was god awful.
Yeah. Yeah, that was bad. All right, so what's your number 5? My
number 5 is the aforementioned The Predator.
Yes.
It was fucking terrible.
It's hard to leave that off the list.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
It's disgustingly bad. There's not one redeeming quality, in my opinion. There's one moment of attempted tension.
Yeah.
It doesn't understand the franchise that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
It's just awful. Absolutely terrible.
I was going to say it's one of the movies that least understands its franchise.
Yeah, it didn't even try. Like, it didn't try. It was a fucking slapsticky fucking, you can't just get a group of dudes together that tell us they're badasses and then, that's the formula.
Did they
for
even
Predator.
tell us that they were bad?
Well, they were like criminals who were,
really?
or mentally fucking
I knew that they were
handicapped
mentally
or whatever.
handicapped.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
I
so
think
bad.
they're supposed to be badasses.
It's like, it's a scary monster movie, but also here's a your mama joke every 10 minutes.
Yeah, and it's not scary at all.
No.
And you had Olivia Munn running around like as the scientist who like chases down a predator.
I'm a scientist.
Oh my God, it was terrible.
It was
But yeah,
bad.
that's my 5.
My number 5 is Crimes of Grindelwald. Fantastic Beast.
That was bad too.
Uh,
The exposition dump of the century.
yes, this is Wingardium Expositionum.
Yeah.
Because this was so fucking... This was boring. This wasn't even visually interesting to look at. Horrible characters, horrible attempts at world building. And that's a big sin against me. Like, that's why some of those other movies that pissed me off, they're not on the list, is because they do a bad job of world building. Like Deadpool 2 does a really bad job of that. But that's why they're not on the list, is they did other things well. This didn't even do anything well.
No, there was nothing I liked about that one. That's the worst Harry Potter movie, bar none.
By a mile.
Yes.
It's by meters, I guess.
Yeah, and you
kilometers.
didn't like what's it called at all? The first
The
one,
one, no. But for it to be leagues worse than that,
it was way worse.
Is impressive.
Yeah,
actually.
it was pathetic.
Yeah,
It really was.
yeah. Number 4.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
I fucking hate it. I had the worst time at that movie. Like, I was sitting there like, this is just awful. It would have been probably number 2 if there wasn't that scene where the little girl's family gets stepped on by the robot, and I laughed really hard.
It gave you an emotion other than anger.
Yes. At that moment, I was like, okay, I'm with that. But then it just went back. I mean, it was the classic annoying kid
Yes.
character who's just, you guys fucked this up. You're trying to hit a demographic here.
Charlie Day was awful.
But yeah. He was terrible. Hey, come on, guys. It was fucking terrible.
That's one of Jackson's signature impressions.
Well, and it was funny because that was one I remember when that came out. I'm like, this is going to make me dislike Charlie Day, like just this movie. But then Hotel Artemis, I thought he was okay in.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of liked him.
Yeah,
again.
he turned it around.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a rough one, and I really liked the first one, so that sucked.
That was a nightmare. Number 4 for me was The Nun. This was just awful. It was just awful. But the other ones just pissed me off more. I don't know what to say about it, really. I mean, I'm assuming it's up your list because I know you hated this movie.
Yeah.
So I'll let you deal with that when you come to it.
What was your? I mean, why is it on your list though?
It has no real internal logic. The characters are morons. There's no real arcs for anyone. I know that I say that a lot.
Yeah, no, but if
there's no arcs, and it doesn't even really understand the horror. It understands the horror genre in the most shallowest of ways. Like somebody who's seen like 3 horror movies decided to direct
jump
a movie.
scares every 5 seconds.
Yes. Yeah. So it's just one of those where nothing is handled well.
It's garbage.
Yeah,
it really is.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Welcome to Marwen.
Yes, I didn't see that one.
Oh,
thankfully.
You dodged it. God, it was terrible. I couldn't believe it as I was watching it.
That reminds me, we need to put an asterisk next to this. We didn't see Holmes and Watson, and apparently that's one of the worst of the year.
Yeah, and I mean, there's going to be good movies we didn't see either. So all this is with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even... it's brutal to even think about or talk about how bad it was.
Right.
I mean, it is awful.
Right.
It is a fucking schmaltzy. All the stuff that works in like Green Book and Paddington for me.
Okay.
Broken in this movie. I laugh at it when they attempt to do it.
It's crazy. It's just crazy to think about because it is What's his
Zemeckis.
name? Zemeckis, yeah.
Well, yeah, I even double checked his like filmography. I mean, he's been solid for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
even his like mediocre movies are fun and decent movies.
Yeah.
This one is just awful.
Number 3 for me is Venom.
Okay. Deservingly.
It pissed me off. This was the epitome of why we hate Sony. The characters are bad. It has a fundamental misunderstanding of what kind of movie it should be, because it wants to be a monster movie and it wants to be a superhero movie at the same time.
Right.
It wants to be a sci-fi horror movie, but at the same time it's PG-13, and it makes its main character make shitty shit jokes.
Yeah.
And it has 2 prologues, which is one of the dumbest things you could ever do. 30 minutes into your movie, you do, what was it, 6 months later or whatever?
It
It's a
was
time jump.
terrible.
It's just one of the worst of the
And
year.
it crushed it.
Yes.
It did. I mean, it was a hit.
And it had a horrible Eminem song to go with it. Venom, Venom. Got a Venom.
Yeah.
Hate it.
It was terrible.
Hate it.
My number 2 is the Happy Time Murders. Happy Time.
Happy time.
Yeah.
Gonna kill myself because it's happy time. That's my number 2 also. So let's just join forces on this piece of shit.
Oh, perfect. I could not believe that I made it through this whole movie.
Ugh.
It was like, I couldn't believe even more that I hated anything after I saw this as much as I hated it.
I agree. This is one of the most ill-conceived movies I've ever seen, ever.
Well, you knew from the trailer. I mean,
Yes.
the trailer was just like, this is just, you're gunning for the lowest IQ
Yeah.
human beings
And
on the planet.
This
here.
is directed and written by Jim Henson's son, and he just shits all over his father's legacy. There's literally a soundbite out there of him going, well, it's funny because it's Silly String, talking about the guy who ejaculates
Yeah.
Silly String. He literally said,
He said that.
Yes, you will be able to find it. I guarantee it. It's funny because it's Silly String.
No, that's not funny.
That's hilarious. You built a movie around the idea of puppets aren't supposed to do that. Fuck you.
It was awful.
Hate
It was
it.
the weakest attempt at like the Roger Rabbit
Yes.
deal, you
Ugh.
know, like the humans interacting with cartoon characters concept.
It doesn't even understand like the hard boil, noir
yeah,
film.
it's going for the noir. Yeah, right.
It doesn't even
No.
understand. It doesn't understand anything. And Melissa McCarthy, it's literally just like, hey guys, go and I don't know why I added that accent, but go and improv a scene. It's just a reverse shot of just the worst comedy you'll ever see.
Yeah, and no heart.
No,
Like
nothing.
it's just terrible.
It's just,
But it's not as bad as this movie,
what's this one?
The Nun.
All right, there it is.
I was so appalled
Yeah.
by what I was watching. It is so stupid. It's not scary. Characters don't make any sense.
Yeah.
The character we've mentioned a few times, the old lady who's like at the church, like you wouldn't walk in and be like, oh, well, fuck this.
That's just a normal nun.
There's this fucking the slapstick character who's like the guy who like shows up to save
Frenchie?
the day at the end. Awful. It's fucking awful. It's an F.
Doesn't
on
he
every,
say
and it's too long, and I don't even know how long it was, but it was fucking. It felt like forever.
I was going to say anything over a half an hour would be too long for that
It
movie.
was so bad. And then the tie-in at the end with the Conjuring. Where
By
you're
the
just
way,
like,
it was
I
that
don't
guy.
care. Yeah,
It was that guy in the first one.
Oh my god. Yeah. Fucking terrible.
Why did they get her sister? Why did they get her
to confuse
sister?
the audience? Yes.
There's no tie.
To confuse the audience, right?
It's just,
looks and sounds exactly like her. Nothing, has no relation whatsoever.
It's just awful. It's just awful.
Her sister, that's like looks like she's 30 years younger. Like,
Yes.
I bet
Holy
their
shit.
family has like 20 kids. They're one of those like.
I was going to
you
say
know.
they look like mother and daughter.
Right. That's what I thought they were.
Yeah. Until
Not that Vera Farmiga's like bad looking for her age. She's a good looking lady. But
It's just this one is like fresh out of high school.
yes,
Or the nunnery.
I could take that terrible places.
I know you could.
But yeah, that's my number one.
Speaking of terrible places.
Oh, here we go.
A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, Immortal Engines didn't make your list?
It was no, because it had cool city stuff.
And it had Shriek or Shrike.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I didn't see A Wrinkle in Time. Fuck.
It's so fucking bad. The children. You're
just a racist sexist, Alex.
The children are so bad. The structure is so horrible. There's no tension. It makes zero sense. It tries to get you in the end with like these, we're family. And it's awful. And then they're like, I'm a reading warrior. Einstein was a warrior that fought across the universe against the evil nothing or whatever. Like, it's this giant evil force. It's so fucking bad. It's so fucking over the top. The writing is horrible. The acting is horrible. Everybody is bad.
But it has Oprah.
She's bad. But yeah, that's an indicator of a good movie to you. It has
Chris Pine.
Jesus Christ. I feel bad because I like Chris Pine.
I really like Chris Pine, yeah.
But, I mean, holy shit. He couldn't save anything in this. There was no saving this movie. It was atrocious.
Good to know. I think I'll never watch that.
It's so
I don't think I'll ever watch it.
And it comes with the caveat of, yes, if you don't like it, you are a racist,
right, yeah,
sexist.
That's the best part.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm sorry. Ava DuVernay.
You're a racist sexist.
Ava DuVernay just put in a bad movie. That's just how it is.
I haven't seen it. Are you a homophobe too if you hate it?
I don't think there's any gay characters in it. Maybe.
They should have gone for the trifecta.
They don't have a sign on them, Jackson, that says gay.
Damn.
See how I turned that around on you?
They should have gone for that. I mean, if you're going to do this,
just go for
every single person you could offend. Just,
So the mom's transgender, the child is gay, all of the children are different races.
Yes.
One of them's actually an old person with like
ageist.
Yeah,
right.
We've got everything. We're getting everybody in there.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's how you build it.
Yeah. I do feel like the other reviewers, or there were reviewers that felt bad for giving it a negative review. I do feel
I'm sure. I guarantee it. Yeah.
Because it's like, or they gave it a positive one because they're like, black females need a role model. It's like, yes, they do. It's not this fucking movie.
Well, right. And we've talked about this before. I mean, regardless of what side of the political aisle you're on or whatever, I mean, we understand how that affects a movie's grade negatively or positively, depending on who made the movie,
right?
What the movie's about.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sorry, but it's true.
It is.
So Wrinkle in Time. What did it have? Like a 20%?
It's something like that. Yeah.
That's too high.
It's way too high.
Yeah.
This should be joining Holmes and Watson with like 8%.
Oh, Jesus.
It's so fucking bad.
We never saw Gotti either.
We didn't see Gotti. What is that at 0?
That's the 0. Yeah.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week.
We have to make a point of that.
Yeah. All right. But that's the end of this very special, dishonorable episode.
Yes. Hope you had a good time. And as always, subscribe to our show, rate us on iTunes, all that fun stuff.